Hey, welcome, California. This is
Hi.
Chris from New York for Vegucated. We've got someone amazing on today who's a multi-time author, a TV show host, and a speaker. And I think your resume goes well beyond that. But we have you here to talk about a few things today, in particular your new book. Please introduce yourself and give a little bit more detail than I did there about who you are and what you do.
Okay, thank you, Demetrius, and thank you for this invitation. And Vegucated, good morning. It's 9 o'clock here in the morning in California, so wherever you are, thanks for joining us today. I have been, maybe the best place would be to start is to share that I have been vegetarian slash vegan for 45 years. So I started
Wow.
out as a vegetarian a long time ago, and this was before all these wonderful foods and services and support and Facebook groups were even available and before Vegucated was born. So I am really excited now to have the tools such as Vegucated brings to us to advance this message in these times. So through the course of this journey, I have been honored and privileged to be able to work with many people to help them bring them along on this, what I call a healthy, happy journey. So thanks for mentioning my 3 books. I have written a book on fitness and one on plant-based nutrition, and now just brand new, The Mindful Vegan. And real quick, as I was just explaining to Demetrius before we went live, these 3 pillars of fitness, getting your body moving, plant-based nutrition through the plant-based journey, and getting some degree of mastery over your habits of thinking. All 3 of those together are essential for lifestyle transformation and healthy, happy living. So how's that for an intro? I know we only have a few minutes.
That's an amazing intro. I was trying to click around here and pull up comments from, we've got
Oh, I
Alice.
see a boss just jumped in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I was trying to see, usually people comment where they're checking in with us live from, and I was going to do some shout outs. I'll do that a little bit into our conversation.
Great.
This morning for you, afternoon for or morning for most of the country, the U.S. at least, and certainly just getting an afternoon here on the East Coast. Why did you write this book now, which I think you just spoke a little bit about, right? This is your 3rd book, but why The Mindful Vegan right now?
Actually, in Demetrius, the mindfulness aspect of this journey is what made it possible for me to make the changes that I have. I knew everything I needed to know about the fitness, and I was certainly educated in what I need to do about nutrition, having been vegetarian, vegan for so long and certified in plant-based nutrition. But how many of us, and maybe some people just checking in with us now, can relate to this, that you know all the right things to do, but somehow you can't overcome your habits that keep you running in old grooves? Those neurons are hardwired in our behaviors. And even though for so long I was following this pathway, my relationship with food and eating and my body and my weight went up and down for like 30 years until I took up a mindfulness meditation practice, which completely dissolved this. And this was 25 years ago now. So with that, not only did I advance my ability to live with more peace and harmony, I let go of 40 pounds without any more up and down. I let go of the obsession with dieting and the minutia of what we eat in preference for living mindfully, which includes, by the way, if you are following any kind of way of eating, vegetarian, vegan, moving animal products off your plate, you are already living mindfully in a way that so many people aren't. Look how much unconscious eating we have on our planet and in our culture.
Absolutely.
And yet there's more you can get at under the surface. For example, just to shed some light on how mindfulness can help you even more, I wonder if anybody tuning in today has ever suffered from mindless snacking or stress eating. Has anybody ever had that experience? Or maybe had a situation where you also were so easily pulled into zoning out online or getting obsessed with an exercise program or obsessed about one thing or another. And these are all examples of how we are living with our reactivity to our daily lives. So what mindfulness does is it gets under the surface of the reactivity that pulls us in all these hardwired habits that we have so that you can find a new way. And that's what happened to me with food eating and all of that through mindfulness practice.
That's wonderful. I'm going to work in this one question from Deborah. She's asking, how does one become certified in plant-based nutrition?
I went through the T. Colin Campbell certification program, which is in eCornell. So you can do a look, go to T. Colin Campbell's, it's nutritionstudies.org, and there is a certification program that is going on now. I did this several years ago when it was first getting launched, but it's advanced, it's growing, and there are people all over the country now with this certification.
Yeah, I definitely have seen, I think I remember when that started, being here in New York State, Cornell being up to date. Wow, so you're probably one of the first graduates. I'm guessing maybe 6 or 7, maybe even a little bit longer. I feel like most of this decade, if not the whole decade, they've been offering it, and quite a few people that I've met or knew before the program took it. You've got Mindfulness Vegan out, or Mindful, pardon me, out. You've got the 2 books before. What's going on? How are people responding to this book right now when we have headlines just in the last month about us mindlessly being online, on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram on our phones, playing games or doing or not doing whatever? How are people responding? Certainly there's the vegan angle, but how do we kind of let me leave that question there. There are many questions.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's what's coming to mind is that it's almost like the response is the feeling that we have when we're thirsty and then we hear the sound of distant water.
Okay.
There's a level that this addresses, that knowing all that you need to know about nutrition and even planning your food and all of that, but it doesn't quite address, because as we've mentioned during our call, we have these patterns and habits. I call them practices, because what our habits are is things that we practiced over and over again that have us hardwired to reactivity. So real quick, may I give you the quick definition of mindfulness, because it really helps underscore this?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Mindfulness is actually, it's a specific form of mental training, which I teach in a 30-day plan here. And it's a particular kind of awareness that you bring to your daily activities. Those 2 things. Now, together, this is what you get from that. You lead to reductions in reactivity, because you get some space around our habits of reactivity and thinking. How much of our day are we actively reacting to one thing or another, a person, another, one place or another, one situation or another? And the other part, Demetrius, is that leads to the cultivation of positive brain states, such as compassion, kindness, peace, equanimity, calm, love. These are all endogenous to us. That means that they exist in our brain, but we've gotten it so covered over with our busy minds and our busy lives and our social media and all our commitments and our multitasking that it's gotten obscured. And there's where we built up all of our reactivity. So with the mindfulness, what you do is you start to unobscure that through specific training, which is the meditation practice, and then transferring that into your daily living. It's really a beautiful, very simple system.
That is amazing. Lots of usefulness there for at least myself, but I think at least the last two comments I see there. Thank you. That was relaxing, actually, just to hear. Right, there is the busyness, certainly here in New York City and around the world, but there's also time to be and sit, maybe with some food, maybe with a great book like yours, maybe just with a little music, or actually just some quiet.
Well, here's the thing, Demetrius. We have lost the art of doing what we're doing while we're doing it. And the book, The Mindful Vegan, is really packed with research, because I'm an academic. I teach kinesiology at the college, and wow. I like to have the presentation supported by facts. There are thousands of research studies now explaining how mindfulness training and mindfulness practice are resolving so many of our difficulties, everything from skin breakouts like psoriasis to smoking cessation to binge eating to anxiety to all kinds of stress management. So when you learn that there's so much that supports this simple system, and I'm hoping I'm able to demystify it a little bit. And with that definition, I really wanted to take the any kind of mystery out of it. It's simply about learning how to do what you're doing while you're doing it. Some of the research I point out in the Mindful Vegan has to do with how our wandering minds, which is all of us every day unless we've learned there's another way, actually leads to sadness, depression, anxiety, cravings, addictions, because letting your mind wander unchecked without any degree of mastery over or choosing, gee, is it time for my mind to wander, or should I really be focused on this, actually brings you into a part of your brain where exist these states. So there's some value in learning how, as I said, some degree of mastery over this wandering mind we've all been plagued with.
I am absorbing that for my own self. And also to let
well, I know you're managing. I know you are perfect. You are doing what you're doing while you're doing it, which means you have a lot that you need to work with right now. We've got people coming in. You're responding. You're bringing some questions in. I thank everyone for your participation in coming today. I'm really excited to see this. So if anyone else has a question, I know Demetrius has plenty to ask, but I'm here. I am yours. I'm doing what I'm doing while I'm doing it.
Thank you for that. I'm going to ask one more question and let's wrap us up, although part of me wants to chat about a few things in the world, riffing off all the great stuff you've said so far in this conversation. Do you have any sort of live workshop and or online classes where you work with people through that 30-day plan or 7-day or any time limit?
I am planning to do an online kind of a commit to sit to walk people through that, but I want to make it really clear, and I'll answer, there's a few answers to your question. One is, the reason I put this together as a 30-day plan is because I want people trying it out. If you have some kind of centering program or practice that you do, keep doing it. If you have one and you've let it go, pick it back up. But if you're looking for something, I put this together as a 30-day plan so people wouldn't go, oh, gee, that sounds really good. I'll do that one day. I said, no, let's start you with day one. Guess how much time is day one's practice, Demetrius? 1 minute.
Wow.
Day two, 2 minutes. I've also taught 6th grade for 20 years. So I am skilled and practiced in taking what could be a complex problem or project and breaking it down into little bits.
Okay.
So to further show support, I also created 30 audios that are free, downloadable for free on my website that are companion to the book. So once you get the book in the resources, it tells you exactly where to go and to get all of those delivered. I'm speaking, anyone in California, I'm going to be at Sacktown Veg Fest this Saturday. And then I'm very excited, on February 7th, I'm going to be speaking at UC Davis through the sponsorship of the group called PEACE. It's People for the Elimination of Animal Cruelty Through Education. That's the acronym is PEACE. I'm really thrilled about that. And I'm also doing something for In Defense of Animals on February 15th. We'll be doing a webinar. So if you're connected with them, you should have access to that. So that's just the next couple weeks. So lots of opportunities. And anyone can reach me, go to my website, and I think we've got our social media put up. So my newsletter list is there, so you can find out when I might be coming near you or access all of the downloads I've got.
Let me close with a question I like to ask everybody on this emerging chat series. Beyond the great work that you're doing, and thank you for doing it, what's exciting you the most in vegandom right now?
The fact that we seem to be having an impact. We're leveraging our voice as evidenced by, look what we see in the supermarkets. Look at what we see at the large multi-million-dollar companies that are now buying up some of the smaller vegan companies and I see this as a buy-in rather than a sellout, because this means they see value in catering to people who want to move animal products and problems created to our environment and our health off of our plate. So I'm very encouraged to see that. I'm encouraged to see that the V label is for vegan is getting on more and more foods and products, that plant-based is circulated. And actually, internationally, vegan is much more common a word than plant-based. So plant-based is kind of like an American word phenomenon. So I say embrace veganism and let's work together. By the way, someone just posted about an app. I wanted to explain, Demetrius, we were talking about the audios I made. The first 7 audios that go with the Mindful Vegan book have actually been loaded into Insight Timer, which is an application. Oh. Yeah, so I partnered with them to put the first 7 days up so people can go in there and just kind of take a peek at those 2 and download them. And I hope to bring the rest of them on board. They just have a kind of a slow process.
This is how it happens sometimes. And slow can, and to your I think some of your points that this chat, slow can be good as well. What's your website and what's your handle on social media?
Yes, well, my name Lani Muelrath. So my website is lanimuelrath.com, and everyone can see that in that beautiful graphic you put together. You can also get there by going to the mindfulveganbook.com or the plantbasedjourney.com. It all brings you to that right place. And on Facebook, I'm Lani Muelrath. Instagram, which is really a fun place to keep bringing up short little, just kind of like our short little thing today, images and messages about mindfulness, about veganism, about the animals, about the planet. My husband and I work a lot and travel on wildlife advocacy, so I'm always putting up stuff about our beloved adopted elephants. So that's on Instagram. Please join up with me there. I'd love to see you. And Twitter, same thing. Find my name.
Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm shouting out Irene from Charleston before we close, Shelley from NYC, Adam from NYC, Deborah Potts, lots of great shares today. There are a couple questions in here, I think, for the link for the eCornell program. I'll put that up in a few minutes.
Good.
It's a great program. A number of people have been to it. Tennessee, I see you. Cape Cod, Atlanta. Oh, and all the way other side of the world, Philippines.
Woohoo! Yay!
And Ireland, I think I shouted them out earlier by text in Texas. Well, thanks for your time today. We're a little bit over 15. Thanks for this generosity. I look forward to taking a deeper look into the book, and I want to check out that app also. People can share this with their friends. This will be up on our page, Vegucated. We will see you all tomorrow for another chat. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.